Hey everyone, welcome to episode 11 of the VRverse. It's a anniversary special, it's a Halloween special, it's all sort of coming together. The show is a year old this month, and obviously it's the month of scary stuff, as said by whoever decided when Halloween was. I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported it over the first 12 months, watching or being on it. And today I've got a very special guest. We have GAMERTAGVR.
Hi.
If you just want to, I mean, people probably know you, but if you just want to let them know what you do, where to find you and things, and...
Yeah, people call me GT from GameTagVR. I'm on many different socials, and basically, I support virtual reality and play lots of different games, but this studio has blown my mind. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff in VR, man. This is incredible. and you look incredible.
Thank you. A lot of work's on. I mean, I've seen over the year, I've had about 4 or 5 different studios, but this is the final one. I'm like really happy with this one.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. It's got that cyberpunky feel as well. They're really good.
So, as always, I'll link down in the description to all of his socials. If you're not already on there, go over and hit them and show him some support. He does a lot of great VR content, a lot of great work for VR. I thought it'd be a good place to have on for this year episode, because we started in the same place with VR. I normally ask where people started in VR, and I know a GT from very early PlayStation VR days, like when it came out.
Oh yeah. We've been doing this for what, 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah,
something like that. Crazy.
So it was like around the same time we both got into VR, so it's like quite a special one. A lot of people have started on PC, and some of them even tried PlayStation VR because they've always just been PC. So I think it's celebrate a year, celebrate where VR started for me and GT. So I think the best thing to do is, obviously, what made you want to invest in PlayStation VR? Was it just the idea of the love for the tech, or was it just something that it was entry level at the time, but if you had a console, things like that?
I think it was iToy, actually. Like, I've always liked all the different things PlayStation did, SingStar, iToy, and then I think I don't know where I saw it. I can't remember. I'd be lying if I tried to tell you where I saw it, but I saw an advertisement for PlayStation showing the PlayStation VR in London, Tobacco Docks, where we've met at EGX, and that was in April 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend and my son went down there, and it completely blew my mind. And I remember seeing like queues for Oculus and HTC, but they were like doing not really games. They were doing things like virtual home guides and things like that, you know, probably more business focused kind of things. I don't remember it being in games, but it was perfect for me. I already owned a PlayStation 4. As soon as I left the show, it wowed me so much. I bought the Move controllers. They were only like £5 each, because they were like 10 years old by then, you know, and PS3 tech no one cared about. So I bought them, and I think the games I played were the London Heist. What was the tank game? Battlezone?
Warzone. No, wasn't Warzone. It was Battlezone. Battlezone.
Yeah,
it was Battlezone. Yeah.
Yeah, Battlezone. London Heist, Battlezone. And Rigs. They were the 3 things that I played, and that was enough to sell it to me. And like just waiting like till October that to come was absolutely insane. I remember being on holiday in Cyprus, and I was just like looking at YouTube all the time, trying to find some sort of information. There was just nothing really out there. I must have watched the Batman Arkham VR trailer, like, I don't know, dude, 100 times, just through hype, you know, just like so excited.
Yeah.
And was you roughly the same? Was it kind of the same for you?
So for me, I actually had no interest in VR. Even when they announced PlayStation VR, what's the big one called? Oh my god, the name's gone.
What's wrong?
The big expo in America.
Well, you got E3.
E3, that's the one. My mind just went.
E3.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, dude. E3 isn't a thing anymore. I know, it's coming back, but yeah.
As soon as I thought I thought EGX in my head, and then I was like, what was it called? And then when he announced it then, we're doing VR, I was just, at the time I ran a website which was all about just gaming, and it was like one thing I said I wasn't interested in. I was like, it's a gimmick. It'll be written off. I expected. I think I took that view from the fact that Sony are known for adopting tech, and then if it doesn't sell, just stopping. Like
It's probably quite true. I mean,
they
it
did
makes
with
sense if it
did with
doesn't.
PlayStation Move. They seemed like that came out with the controllers, and they just sort of games are coming out all the time for it, and then it sort of fell off, and then they're just like, nah, it's like it doesn't exist anymore. Which, like I said, it makes sense for a
Yeah.
business point of view.
Yeah.
So when they announced VR, I was like, if it doesn't take off, it's another piece of useless tech. I mean, not only Sony. I'm a big fan of buying new tech. I got the HD I got the HD DVD player from Microsoft. I got the Kinect from Microsoft. I always jump in on new tech, and I was just like, I can't do it this time. And then, actually, I think it was a day it was going to come out. I was just scouring shops in Middlesbrough for one because I was like, I should have pre-ordered one, and I got one in Argos. Argos had one left. I was like, reserve it.
Wow.
I'm in work. Reserve it. I'll pick it up after work.
It's so exciting, isn't it, when you get new tech like that? It is really cool.
So yeah, that was and then just blew my mind. I think the first thing I tried in it was Rush of Blood, because I didn't buy Worlds. The Argos, I was just looking at Argos, and they just grabbed Rush of Blood, and
Yeah.
was fantastic. And then tried some of the demos, like got the chance to try some of the London Heist and the demo disc and stuff. Demo discs, Jesus. But I got to try on that. and
Showing our age.
yeah, and it was yeah, I just knew it was for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Same, dude. And look where it is now. Like,
Like,
it's insane.
just so with the PlayStation VR is I mean, you mentioned was that the sort of game that just made you know it was for you? Like, which is the first one that made you go, Jesus Christ, this is mad?
Well, if say aside from the actual demos that I tried, I think Batman was the one that immersed me the most, and I was really like scared to play it. Like when I think the games I got on launch day were PlayStation VR Worlds, because I was thinking it come bundled, but it didn't.
Yeah.
PlayStation VR Worlds. I didn't get Rigs, didn't get Battlezone, got Batman, got Thumper. I did get those other games, and I did get Rush of Blood as well, even though IGN gave it a 6. What the fuck?
Don't trust IGN with VR. It's not very.
What that? Yeah, so did that, and then yeah, I was just like, I took a week off work, and it was one of those times when I was still very new to VR. Really, the thing of going into VR and coming out of VR was still quite shocking, as in time would pass. And I remember playing Batman, and I remember it being light when I went in the headset, and just being in there for so long. And then I lifted the headset, and it was like getting into the evening, and I was like, that is so weird, dude. Like, I feel like I've been to another world. And then Croc, when he jumped out of the water, hit the cage, and that, fuck, mate, that felt so real. It scared me so much, and I loved it. Like, that was it. Like, I was fully in. But the one game, I think the game that I played the most would be Star Trek Bridge Crew. I played that every night for like 4 months. Just going around. I learned the Kobayashi Maru level. And it was great because back then the servers would always be quite full. So I'd go from room to room, and now and again there'd be 3 people just sitting there, and you'd go in the room, they'd all look at you.
Yeah.
They'd be like, are you a captain? I'd be like, yeah, I'm a captain. They're like, let's go. And then we'd like, because there was like a trophy on PS4. Like, I think if you saved 120 people on the Kobayashi Maru, you got a trophy.
Yeah.
And all the other trophies were pretty easy apart from that one. So once I learned that technique, I was just going around all these different crews, and it was so much fun. Every night, I loved it. I loved it so much. Too much, my wife would probably say. Yeah, crazy.
What was weird with Star Trek Bridge Crew for me is, like, I never tried it until I was on PC VR. The first time I actually played it was with Dr. Oculus Book and Ball. Like, I bought it to play with them, through like one of our game nights, and I was like, I didn't really watch Star Trek as a kid or anything, so I was like, that's why I thought I'm not going to be used to it because I need to. But then once you sat there and you learn the controls and learn stuff, and we were just swapping around roles, I thought it was actually fun. Like, you don't need to actually like Star Trek to enjoy it. You can it's just working together as that team, and the laughs you can have when stuff goes wrong. And
there's just not enough. There's not enough team-based games in VR like that work that well. There was another one, wasn't there? Like, there was like a puzzly game. I think it featured EGX once. You know, the console in the middle, 4 people standing around.
Yeah, Space Team.
Space Team, yeah. And I remember hearing the pitch, and I was like, this sounds great, but it didn't quite deliver Star Trek. Star Trek still felt like you was on a journey together.
Yeah.
In some way, you know, like there was a narrative almost, and things could happen, and obviously it never really quite hit its potential. I do hope one day that someone picks up the IP. I think PlayStation VR 2 is going to bring great things back again to VR. You know, it's doing really well, but it's definitely in a lull at the moment. Again, you know, there's the games aren't wowing people and stuff, but I think, and by all accounts from people I know who've tried it, PSVR 2 is legit, and it's going to be awesome for everyone. You know, and if PlayStation make it work, and this is going back to what you're saying about when, and I do agree with you with Kinect and other things where these companies, like, they make something and they go, "What? This is the best thing ever," and you go, "Dude, I believe you. I want to invest in it." And then suddenly, like, Kinect was the worst. Actually, you never got the games were like so limited. There was hardly any, and yet it was the fastest selling add-on peripheral, I think, in like the Guinness Book of Records at some stage.
I played.
You know,
the only thing I ever played on Kinect was Connectables. And I mean, that's saying something, isn't it? Just playing with a lion. That was it. Playing with a lion.
Mate, Kinect Adventures was great. You could do jet skiing and like river rafting. But yeah, going back to what I was trying to say, like, if PSVR 2 is such a big success, which I think it will be, then potentially Xbox will get involved, and potentially Nintendo will get involved, and Apple, and that's when we see the last 5-6 years of our time possibly being made worthwhile. You know, potentially new people will come along and go, "Can you help me?" And you'll go, I can help you." Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. Like, there has been some absolutely like amazing exclusives on PlayStation VR. I know some got to stick. 2 of them. I mean, one of them, Resident Evil 7, is like still one of my best ones I've ever played.
Yeah.
We're now getting the chance to do it on PC VR with Prey Dog, who's done a fantastic job with that, like, unbelievable job.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
But at the time, it was just, I remember being so excited when the day that was coming out, and then not being so excited actually when I went into it and seeing what it was like. It's like, it can't be that scary. Can't be that scary. And then that happened. But again, there's a lot of people still at that time like, well, you're using a controller. Like, it worked. I think it would have been annoying with Move controllers trying to fit a scheme for it on that. And people would get more annoyed by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird that... What would you say? The PSVR I'd say it had an incredibly strong 2 years out of like potentially out of 5 year, 6 year life cycle or something crazy.
Yeah.
But I would say there was 2 amazing years where everything was exclusive. Like, if you talk to a developer, you could guarantee the game was coming to PSVR. Kind of like it is on Quest now. I can't wait for that to happen again. I can't wait for all that to happen again. You know,
no, definitely.
Competition as well. You know, I'm testing. I don't know what I'm pointing. You can't see, but I'm currently testing the PICO 4 and stuff. And
you
know, it's good, but it's still not quite the Quest killer that you're hoping. It's not. You know, I know people have said it, but it's not that, unfortunately. And I say that unfortunately because I want there to be competition. You know, this.
It's what drives an industry. Competition drives an industry, and people strive to do better because they want to be the top of the competition.
Yes, exactly. And we need games.
Yeah,
we need games.
It seems like every week it's like, oh, this new headset's coming out, and it's like, okay, but You need content for it to be.
What am I going to play on it?
I'll go back
That's
and
the
play
problem.
games I've already played. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, and obviously, whenever I review anything, obviously, it's from. I can't not do it from my perspective. It's got to be from my perspective. There's nothing on Pico I can't play. In fact, there's less I can play on Pico than I can on Quest.
Yeah.
I can never get away from that. You know, you can't get away from the number one VR game ever. Beat Saber isn't on the platform. Yeah, and you know, I love I love the form factor of the headset. It's so light and stuff. But and again, from a perspective of add-ons, I don't know how comfy your headset is, but my headset now with the VR cover and the M2, Bobo, it's lovely. I'm fine, you know. So when you put that on out the box again, you're like, ow, my cheeks. It's little things.
So I've got one question about the Pico. I don't know if you can say it or not. Obviously, I know it's under, but is this head strap on the 4 removable?
That is a very good question. I can't answer that because I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say it isn't because I think the battery is the back part.
Yeah. So I reckon it's going to be wired through into the headset, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. I mean, the speakers themselves, there's a lot of good things about it. The speakers themselves are on like the side, right?
Yeah.
And when I was in Miami, I got to try one, and I remember Mike playing it, and I didn't hear a sound. And I was speaking to him, and he couldn't hear me, and I was like, "How the fuck can't he hear me?" When he's like, he was closer than you are, right?
Yeah.
To me than you are. I was going, Mike, what are you playing? Mike, what are you playing? He didn't answer me. I was like, Mike, what are you playing? And he was like, oh, I'm playing this, that, and the other. And I was like, why can't you hear me? And he went, I don't know, dude. And the speakers, right? The speakers on the Pico are positioned towards the player. And I can't explain it apart from they almost drown out all external noise while people around you can't hear what you're playing a little bit. It's really weird. It's fucking weird. I don't know how it works, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, but there's no auxiliary port, so you can't use headphones. You can use
talk
Bluetooth
about last week. I
headphones.
said that's the problem. Like the Bluetooth's got input lag a little bit apparently, and then I think it was saying Lazius who does stuff for Pico. He was from VR Essentials. He was saying you can buy a dongle, and I was like, but my problem is you can't then extend the battery life because you can't plug an external like battery pack into it when your battery's running low.
Right.
So it's like one or the other. If you want to use headphones, you can't charge it.
Someone has already. I saw a picture the other day of a Bobo strap for it with a battery on it. But I don't really understand. I want to change the faceplate. I don't want to change the back. Like, it sits nicely. It's just right under my cheeks. And I remember with Oculus, they've done a thing where they basically had like 100 faces or 1,000 faces or something, and they work out the form factor of these headsets and stuff. Which this particular headset is almost like you haven't got cheekbones. I don't know. I mean, it really digs into me. I've asked some other people and they agree. I'm not sure, but I mean, that'd be nice. It's the only thing I'd like to change. I'd like to get some VR cover in the headset. Yeah, sorry, I haven't got a top on, everyone. You know, I'm shredded though.
He's showing his muscles off.
Shredded well, yeah, kind of. I look angry as well. There. I look so angry. Oh, that's why. Oh dear.
But yeah, definitely. I think we need that drive of games. I think like I spend so much time in EOS now. I don't really like play every game. But there's one I want to talk about. It came out since the last show, and it sort of divides opinion.
Okay.
BONELABS.
Oh, BONELABS. Oh.
It divides opinion. Like you'll find people who love it. Well, as everyone said, it's a Marmite game. You're either gonna enjoy it or you're gonna hate it. There's no middle ground now on that one.
So, let me ask you: was you a fan of BONEWORKS?
I wasn't. I played it.
Oh.
Because I wanted to see this crazy physics stuff, and I was impressed. But it was like I played the story, then I never went back with any mods or anything. It was like I played the story, but then sort of just cut it off there. Didn't go back to it. Uninstalled it and never went back to it.
Yeah, yeah. I really liked BONEWORKS personally, and it was weird. I remember people saying to me, "Oh, it's got no story and stuff," but I actually really enjoyed the journey of it, and I enjoyed it. And the music to me is absolutely amazing. I think it's one of the best soundtracks in gaming. Full stop. Not just VR. Like, I love it. I do. I really love it. And BONELABS, aside from just put anything else aside, the fact that game is on a Quest 2 is technically incredible. Like, there was, someone said to me, we was all like playing it on PC and Quest before launch, and someone said to me, they're like, dude, I actually forgot I was on Quest. I was like, come on, man, come on, like really, PC versus Quest. But they were telling the truth. As long as there's not too much foveated rendering happening, it is impressive. Like, fuck it is impressive, and the mods are in there as well. Like, I don't know how they did that. Like, that is, I don't think you're going to see a better, more technically advanced game on Quest 2 and it's in that headset's lifetime. I think that is the most advanced game you can buy on Quest 2. I did enjoy it. Would I go back to it? I need to jump in. I need to go and check out the mods. But to be honest, like, once I've done my review and other bits and I played it, I was a bit like, cool. I'm done with this for now. I don't want to go back into it for a little while.
So that was an interesting thing, because like I didn't really like BONEWORKS, but I've loved BONELABS. I've played through it with,
oh wow.
I played through it with the story. Yes, there's reading and yes, there's some listening to the radios and stuff, and I'm playing through it for a second time with my avatar. I've found the tutorial on how to get it to work in Unity.
Avatar, this one?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. So it feels like you're in that game now, because, yeah.
The only thing you can't do at the moment, I've looked and there's no things, is putting dynamic bones on, so the ears don't move, but you never see that in BONEWORKS. You just see and that's the main thing. I'm just seeing these in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing through it a second time now, just trying to run through it with my avatar on its own without switching avatars. Unless, I mean, when it gets to parts where you need the tall one, like to get stuff out the wall, I'll have to do it, or try and move boxes and jump up boxes. But I want to just run through with my avatar. And so I'm actually through my set on. Well, I'm just halfway through. I'm just on to the part where where you're meant to go and start collecting the avatars on my second playthrough now. But I've really enjoyed it.
What stats has your avatar got?
I don't know. It shows you on when you're on your thing, but I didn't really look at them. I didn't realise. Actually, I don't know whether it randomly generates them or anything, because someone's like, oh, look, I've got tall and I've got this. And I was just like, I just put it in, selected it, plugged the thing in so I connected to my arm in case I do have to switch avatars, so it's always on there. And then just go on. But I could push the big balls, no problem and stuff. So I don't know whether it just randomly generates them. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because like your character looks fast, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like looking forward to seeing what people do with the mods, like what they bring into it, like when people start to use Unity and building levels they can import and stuff, because they could just get as crazy as VR chat, people just working and getting like games running in there.
Yeah, I hope so, dude. I really do hope so. I'm waiting for someone to just ping me and say, GT, I've made this amazing thing in BONEWORKS, and I'll be like, dude, let me have a look. Because I personally won't be making anything in there.
No.
I just haven't got, that's not me. I don't really do anything like that. I wish I did sometimes, but yeah, luckily there's people out there who are just like, dude, I'm putting Mario Kart in this, that, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. I want to play it and I want to show it and I'll promote things, but I don't really want to make anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the only thing I've made in Neos. I don't know Unity.
Well, you've made a whole house. Like you've made, that's don't underplay it. You've got a whole house with a lift, and it takes us to a studio up in the air, surrounded by some amazing buildings in China. It's pretty good.
This is like I don't know Unity. I learned Unity to get this into BONEWORKS by following the tutorial, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was very, like I said, I was shocked because I was umming and ahhing about buying it, because I was like, BONEWORKS, I played the story and then deleted it and never played it again. It's like, do I really take a punt on BONELABS when it's like more about what's coming after the story, when people are going to start doing stuff. And then I was like, do I wait to see what people make? And then on the day I was just like, no, I'm going to have to buy it. Like,
Yeah.
four
I think that's what
more
everyone
kicks
did.
in, doesn't it? Like, oh, I don't want
Yeah.
to miss out on that. It could be something special that I'm going to completely miss out on.
Yeah. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I really am.
Yeah. I think the avatars helped it. Not just being able to put my own avatar in that section of the game when you start to like decide, actually, I'm going to change my avatar to pull this heavy object, and I'm going to change it to get tall. I'm going to need to run through this part fast. And I think that helped.
Yeah.
This one a
Absolutely.
lot. But it's all
Everyone's loving the avatars. Everyone's loving the avatars.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube Shorts, dude, it is BONELABS avatars, how to unlock avatars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, the whole of the system having it on your arm to pull a little cord, it's like, and it just changes is magic.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart.
Um.
Neos could do something like that.
Yeah, I've got an avatar in Neos. If I take my glasses off, it turns to a fat version of the avatar. But that's about it.
What?
No one's ever seen it. Well, people in Neos have. No one out there. Actually, I think I put a video out on Twitter when I first did it. So it's got like a pair of glasses on, you take it off, and it just becomes fat. And then when you put the glasses on, it goes back to skinny.
Ideal.
Perfect glasses.
Yeah. We all need them.
Now for a quick break, just to shout out the VRverse's official partner, OddersLab. Now OddersLab is a VR development company, and they've brought us games like O-Shape, Les Mills Body Combat and Chess Club VR. Now these are free games and applications that I've spent many hours in myself, and I really enjoy them all. O-Shape brings a new take on rhythm games, which sees you matching rhythm with putting your body through shapes in a wall. A bit like the game show Hole in the Wall, but with music involved. Next up we have Les Mills Body Combat. Now this is a fitness application that will put you through light to intense workouts from the popular workout people, Les Mills. And of course the last one there is Chess Club VR, which will see you either taking on AI or people online at a game of chess with the pieces coming to life in front of your eyes. What I advise you do is head down in the description and check out over on OddersLab and check out all the work they do for VR. But now let's get back on with the show. One thing I'd like to say is, I know I wasn't there to see it live, but congratulations on your venture at EGX being on the stage.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah,
there.
God, that was so nerve-wracking.
I
That
bet
was. Oh my goodness. Have you ever done anything like that?
No.
Oh, dude. Honestly, I'd accidentally. So I hadn't eaten all morning, and it was like we've been there since Wednesday. Absolutely flat out on Wednesday, like busy, and Thursday, and then Friday happened. I'd had breakfast, but this was like around 2:00 in the afternoon. This was happening, and I hadn't eaten yet. And Andreas was like, "Right, come on, we got to go." And I was just like, "Oh my God, here we go. This is the time." And he was like, "Have you rehearsed?" And I was thinking, "I have not rehearsed. Like I know I've seen the words, but I haven't memorized the words."
Yeah.
I think I kind of hoped it wouldn't happen for some crazy reason. And then as I was running through EGX, there was giving away like shots of energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a couple of them, and then while we were rehearsing, I got really thirsty and went back out and bought a can of energy, forgetting I'd had the shots. Gone back again, and I'm reading these notes, and unfortunately, some of the other guys had some issues. I think it was Dyschronia devs. They were going to do a live demonstration, and in the end, they just sat there for 10 minutes in silence. Bless them. You know, it was really unfortunate.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm reading my notes, and I'm thinking, God, I'm bloody shaking. Like, I'm really nervous. And then I realised, I was like, I know what's happened. I've had 600 milligrams of caffeine and nothing to eat, and obviously I am nervous, but in my heart I was like, oh no, what have I done? So I done my best for like an hour of rereading it, and yeah, went out there, dude, and I don't remember it. It's weird. I remember getting off. I remember going on, and I remember saying, "Well done to Callum," turning around, going like, "Good show." So I remember thinking, I've got to thank him for doing this. You know, he's going out of his way, making this stuff happen in VR, like you doing this. You know, like doing something they love, bringing people together. And I hadn't heard anyone thank him. So I was like, I want to thank him, make sure. That's all I remember and coming off. I don't remember even looking at the crowd, really. And yeah, it was such a relief that it was over. But kind of think back, do you remember the first time you live streamed? How nervous you were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so nervous, and I wasn't even on camera. It was just me in a headset talking and stuff. And I kind of thought maybe that's what happens with this kind of stuff. If you do it again and again, it gets... See, the first time was the worst, but it was also the best because it won't ever feel that bad again, hopefully.
Yeah, it's always funny going back and like if you watch your first live streams, like man, I'm like so quietly and softly spoken, like hello. It's like what was I doing?
Yeah, man. That's how it should be. It's quite good. It is good.
I always remember the first one I did for PlayStation VR, and the day it came out, and I was playing the demo Thumper, and I'm like, yeah, this is really like, I'm enjoying this. It's fun. Like no sort of projection or anything in there. And someone joined called Abolished Sword.
Yeah.
And I thought it said a polished sword, and I was like, is that like? Is that an innuendo, or is that like you just polish your sword? And then when I actually finished and looked at the thing, I was like, oh, it says abolished. I thought they were probably thinking, who's this nutter? Like, having like asked me all this.
Yeah, that's quality. Sometimes though you get people in chat and their names are so complex, and you're like, I want to say hello to who you are, but I cannot read what that says. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I might be a little bit dyslexic, so I'll see the first and last word, and my mind tends to bring it together. But if the middle is just gobbledygook, then my brain's like, what does that say? And I'm like, I don't know. I have to think. Yeah, it's tough.
When I used to do a lot more live streaming, I do a lot of recording. I mean, like yourself, mainly started out just as live streamer, and then I got more into like maybe I should use my qualification in media studies and do some editing, and then started editing instead and mixing it. But it was just like you said, sometimes names come up, or it might be a foreign name, and you're like, I don't want to offend them by saying it wrong.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but like I'll try.
Yeah.
And
Lovely.
then it's like anytime anyone came up, I was like, in my head, I was like, oh no, I don't want to offend them by like messing the name up.
Yeah, but if they're going to choose a crazy name that they probably can't pronounce, then what did you expect,
But yeah, there's always a moment. It's always like, it's odd when you live stream because sometimes you've got funny moments, you've got odd moments, and you get like these bloody sex bots turning up and hammering your chat. You're just like, oh, the stuff I send me messages. Like, I don't want to touch. I don't want to play it.
I want to touch the wood. I've not had the sex bots, not yet, which is crazy. Like, I don't know whether I've got really good mods or, but the special words I've got stop it. But yeah, I touch some wood. I don't get any.
Yeah, luckily, because I don't stream as much now, I don't think I get many. But when I streamed a lot, there's always some sort of bot gonna come in, buy followers bot or this and this and this, and then. But then I watch people like Indie VR doing all the indie stuff, and you'll get them like anime sex games, and it'll just like you'll block them, then it'll just join with a different name, and he's like, no, stop it.
Really? Wow. Is that the guy? Did he just change his name?
Yeah, from Surgical Gaming. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's going to concentrate on all covering a lot of indie stuff. So
that's awesome.
That's his idea for his channel, which I think is a good one. There's not many that just focus on that side of it. I think it's a good move. Be interesting.
Yeah, agreed. You could literally do that now. VR's going that way. You could be a VR mod channel. You could be a VR indie channel. Yeah. You could be a tech channel. I mean, there's enough tech out there at the moment, and it's not going to stop, I don't think.
No. For example, we got a teaser from HTC again.
Oh, yeah.
Week. A new headset coming. I've been a HTC user for a lot of my PC VR. I started on HTC. I got an Index. Went back to HTC. and I do like what they do, but they've got to get this right this time. They've got to.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the hint and I was a bit like, I don't know whether to interact with this or not, because normally it ends up quite bad for them. If it could be a fucking knee tracker, but everyone thinks it's a headset or something, and you're like, not again. So in some ways, I don't want to play the teasing game again with them. I think that's the only bit I don't want to play. I'm happy to, if there's a really cool headset and there's a little trailer for it, even if it is, just let us know what it is. Don't just keep putting a corner of something like it's a jigsaw puzzle. I think that's done. I think that's.
I think the thing
I
is,
haven't seen half the hype as well from what.
I sort of think they've learned from it, because they put that teaser out, and I know Mike straight in the comments like, let's hope it's something good, and they replied saying it's a HMD. They've responded straight away to Mike saying it's a HMD in like a public Twitter thing. So
good.
I think they've learned a bit as well. I think they like this teasing, but they've learned people are going to get annoyed if they just keep, like you said, every week.
It was the trackers, wasn't it? I think that was the real.
Yeah.
Well, they'd done the Vive Flow before that, and everyone went, "What the hell is this for?" And then it was the trackers.
Facial tracker.
People thought they thought it was an HMD, and they let it run as well because they got a lot of traction.
Yeah.
If I was them, I'd be thinking at that time, "Oh shit! Like this is going well out expectations." Because to be fair, HTC, I've never owned a HTC headset, but they're OGs.
Yeah.
People will welcome their return in PCVR because I think at the moment people are still waiting. I know the Index is great, and I know that, but I used one again recently. I love the headset. I don't like the controllers. I don't like not having touch buttons either. I think it's really hard for me to adjust.
Yeah.
To not having grip buttons, sorry. But I love the headset. But if we can get away from base stations, I'm all in. I don't want base stations personally. I've never had them, and I'm not. They're one of those things. There's just too many wires too far for me personally. After PSVR, you get a bit wire sick. I think. I
think because I've always Vive was my first ever foray into PC VR. Is I've always had base stations, so I've sort of used to them. Like you said, I know it's more wires than you want. But I do find it when not using them, like using the Quest or using, I tried the Cosmos, trying them is the precision of that tracking is unbelievable. But it's only going to get better as standalone goes on. That tracking's only going to, and you see it improve every time they release something. Like the tracking on the Quest 2 compared to Quest 1 was levels above. And it's only going to keep improving. But at this moment, I'm like, I love the precision, the precision tracking that base stations offer.
Yeah, I think if I'd have had base stations at the beginning, I'd be the same, and I'd probably stick to them. And I probably would be a Valve Index user because I think that headset is such a great looking headset, and the FOV is lovely, and everything about that. I love that headset. It's very expensive as well. That's what I was hoping about the Pico 4. But more to come. More to come on the Pico 4. Shouldn't say too much.
Yeah, more. Keep an eye on his channel. He'll be releasing his full review. I always go to you and Mike. If being 100% honest, if I'm looking at reviews of hardware, I go to you and Mike and Tyrrell if he puts one out, because I believe all yous take an approach of you're going to tell the truth. You're not going to sugarcoat it for anyone. If it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean.
You Mike and Tyrrell sort of follow that.
It's really nice. I think some people though don't like the truth as well. Some people don't, and these all perspectives. Obviously, it's a complete perspectives. I think the other day when I'd done out my Pico 4 unboxing and a little bit of that, where I was talking about the comfort and stuff, there was someone in my comments that said, "Oh, you Meta Quest lovers don't want to promote this, blah blah blah," and you can't really get away. You can't please everybody all the time. That's so your best thing to do is just stay honest, and then you've got no comebacks. You just, if it is what it is.
Yeah. It's it's the best way to be. Even on my game reviews, I try and say what's bad about it. So you can always find a problem with some game somewhere in a game. No game's ever going to be perfect. I mean, even Half-Life Alyx wasn't perfect. It's still the level of VR for me, Half-Life Alyx, but it wasn't perfect. There was still stuff in there which I was like, no. I mean, they put a lot of work into it. I mean, Valve always do. Valve, if they're going to release something, it's like a proper project that they love. They never seem to they won't just release something. Well, we found out they won't just release a game for the sake of let's make some money by releasing a game. It has to be something special.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
They don't release much, but when they do release them, they're big. And they're like,
yeah, man.
Even Portal, when that was first coming out, I was like, oh, it made that first. It's Valve, but it seems like it's a bit of. And then I played it, and I was just like, no, there's so much effort and time and love gone into this game as well.
So, like later on today on our podcast, the guys want to talk about Half-Life Alyx coming to PSVR 2, and I was a bit like, why? Why are we talking about this? Like, I can't. I know it's been reported on a website, but that still doesn't make me want to talk about it because I can't see any factual reason. I want it to happen, I want lots of things to happen, but I'd love the orange box to come to VR. But, I don't know. Have you heard about that? I've seen anything?
Basically just saw that one website that leaked it, saying they've been in discussions and they've gone well, and I just thought. But then in that same article, they're like, but we all know cancellations happen, and I thought, so you you're basically covering yourself. You're saying, oh, we found this information out, but it could get cancelled. Like, what you just covering it, like, so you're not 100% sure. In my head, that was like, you're not 100% sure, and now you're just sort of offering a levy out, so if it doesn't happen, you can go, well, you weren't wrong, it just got cancelled. Like,
yeah, and while everyone else gets whipped up in a frenzy, hoping.
Yeah. Like yourself, I want to see it go to PlayStation VR 2.
Of course.
It's a game that people shouldn't miss out on. It's more, again, it could sell PlayStation VR headsets.
Yeah.
Bring more people into VR.
Absolutely.
It's one thing I found weird, because this year I went down to Insomnia rather than EGX, because I know the one that was cancelled of EGX but then came back in like the September, there wasn't very much, not this year, the last year there wasn't much VR there, and I thought, it's all I go down for, and Insomnia have a big HTC Vive thing there, and I thought, oh, I'll go there. And then when I was there, the only thing, they had a HTC Vive section, but they were showing Beat Saber, super hot, and then 3 of them had Half-Life Alyx on, and I just thought, oh. I mean, yeah, there was a big queue, and everyone was just waiting for Half-Life. Well, actually, there was actually more people waiting for Beat Saber, I think. But it was.
Of course, there is. Like, it's the world's most visibly known game. A bit like coffee being the most known smell in the world. Beat Saber is the most known VR game in the world, and that's where I still think PICO are always going to have that problem. I think if you buy a VR headset and it's white and you take it home and you say, yeah, I've got a VR headset, they're going to go, can you play Beat Saber on it? And you're going to go, no. And they go, oh. I do think that.
The only thing I think PICO have done well, game-wise, is getting an exclusive for Just Dance. Because like, being at Insomnia and the EGX competition, the Just Dance competitions there with the Switch, that crowd is crazy about that game.
Yeah, they are. I'm not, but they are.
Yeah, I'm not. But you just sit and watch them, and you're just like, it's just maddening. Like, even when people are on the stage, like, they had 4 on the stage dancing at once, and one would go through to the finals and stuff. Like, you look over to the side, and next to it, in that little walkway next to it, there's like 30 odd people there, like, doing the dance and stuff, and I'm just like, this is mad, like. And but I think that's what they've done well, securing that. I know there's Dance Central on the Quest and Quest 2, and it is on the PC one as well, like Octa's PC store. I know that's on there, but Just Dance just has a crazy following. Like, I don't think it probably sell headsets for them, not in the millions, but it will sell headsets for them. There'll be some of them will want to try it. Yeah,
it's really hard to know, isn't it? Because the China market is huge, and I think that's why you're getting a lot of people moan about the fact that Pico 4 isn't in the US. But it makes sense to have it in EU and China. It does make sense because Meta is so big in US.
Yeah,
they've worked out that where we're going to focus our units well, probably where the most potential place we can influence, and it is in America, you know.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
definitely. So let's have a little talk about PlayStation VR 2, because obviously we both started in PlayStation VR, and we're getting more and more information. We know it's out early next year now. Just seems like, and it's weird because in my head I was thinking, I got a PlayStation 5 on day of release because I thought in my head I'm buying PlayStation VR 2, and afterwards I'm like, do I, or do I just keep it for PC? Like, but as more and more information come out, it's like in my head I'm getting more and more hyped, and I'm more in my head. It's like, if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for Sony, I probably would never have tried VR, and I probably would never be where I am now. Like, in how much invested and how much I love it.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely end up getting one. But, like, in my head, I'm like, I'm putting money away each month. I will have money when one comes out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely, dude. How much are you thinking it's going to be?
I think 500. £500,
Yeah.
or $500 and 400 and something euros maybe. That's a minimum. Yeah. It could be more, but that's the minimum I'm banking on. It's, and I think it's mad. I don't know how much. Is that the sort of price you were thinking, or?
Yeah, I think $499 is going to be what they're going to ask for.
Yeah.
You know, problem is you and me both would pay more.
Yeah.
I'd personally go up to. I don't know how much it would have to be. I think if you got to 1,000, I would then consider.
Yeah.
If I didn't have with the channel, I'd still pay that. But if I didn't have a channel which would rely on it, I think 1,000 would be my no thanks. Like, I'm going to wait for it to go down in price, because if I had to guess a number of are you in, are you out, but doing what we do, it's one of those kind of like an investment, you know.
Yeah. I think it's mad because I've had it on a few. I've been over to like the likes of, I love the guys over there and I love watching the show, but you jump over to like PlayStation, PSVR without parole, and their chat, like when they talk about PlayStation VR 2, is like it's going to be $350 to $400 max, because that's to be priced right for consoles. And I was just like, with the tech you've got in it, you're not having it for that price. Like, no way. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, these
it's
are
hard to know.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, they can't outprice it. They can't make it more than the console. Because I was like, but it's got facial haptics, it's got eye tracking in it, it's got controllers this time.
Yeah,
like, it's got better tech in it. You can't expect them to release it for the price of release of original one for. I mean,
yeah, and the other thing is, it's not a given of a seller. It really isn't.
No.
Like, and it's whenever I make a video on PSVR 2, which I don't do too often because I don't see the point. When I mention the cable being an issue, people are like, they get angry at me. They're like, oh, it's an issue for you, is it? Yeah, you now don't like PlayStation, and I'm like, no, listen, I'm trying to be devil's advocate, right? Yeah. I would buy it with 3 cables. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't bother me. I'd like it not to have any, but I know how good the game's going to be. Mm-hmm. And so that I am already buying it. 1, 2, 3 cables. But whenever I talk to normal people, example, my uncle, he come round, he played PlayStation VR, well, I'll buy it. My auntie goes, well, I'll buy it. They leave, they buy a PSVR, they play it for a week or 2.
Yeah.
You know, and they're screaming, they're loving it. And then slowly it gets put away because he's in the way, and then they get it back out again, and then slowly it just doesn't come out anymore. The first time when I said to them, oh, dude, like PSVR 2's coming, you're going to get one? He was like, has it got a wire? I was like, yeah, it's wired. And he was like, oh, I'll probably wait. You know, and that is the be-all and end-all of what I think people who aren't crazy for this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, people. You got to remember, we are enthusiasts. Yeah. And I think people forget that. We're fans, we're enthusiasts. And we forget it because we're surrounded by all the same people all the time.
Yeah.
It seems normal, but it's not. It's not normal. We're going to EGX, prove that to me more than anything.
Yeah.
People are coming up saying, oh, I'm like, oh, have you played VR? They're like, yeah, I played Half-Life Alyx on a Valve Index and I sold it. Like 3, 4 people did that. Yeah. Now, to me, I'm like, what didn't happen to you that made you think, oh my God, this is the next generation of gaming?
Yeah.
That happened, you know, because Half-Life Alyx, admittedly, is top tier. You know, not many games better than that. But yeah, they do. They play Half-Life Alyx. They get it free with the headset, with the index at the time, and they play it, and they go, yeah, complete it. And they sell the index, and they don't have any more VR. And then they come along and see people playing wireless VR on the Quest, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, oh, this is the Oculus Quest 2, Meta Quest 2. I explain it, and I say the price. They're like, really? Is that how much it is? I'm like, yeah, and you can get it off Amazon with monthly payments.
Yeah.
And they can't believe it. They literally, it's like someone opened a door and they looked in the door and then they shut the door and they forgot about the door and now the door appears now and again. It's so weird.
With these people, with these people as well, like you said, with surprised with the price, surprised with everything. Then also, like, we turn out to them and say, and you can also PCVR with it, like wirelessly.
Yeah.
So you could play Half-Life Alyx again. With this.
I know. It's incredible. And you haven't got to buy anything. Like, you could do AirLink if it works well enough. If you know, virtual desktop, you don't need bits to buy or anything like that. It's crazy. It's crazy to think for £399, you've got a standalone PCVR headset with exclusive games on standalone, access to Steam and Oculus, and Vive. You can do the Vive thing for it with Revive. Like, it's stupid. And the controllers are decent. And it doesn't break, really. You know, I've only ever one issue with one controller in the whole time. And I use this bloody thing every day. And recently I was using it for work most days as well. It's insane. It is. It's crazy.
We had this debate on the last show about the wire. And, like, I understand wireless, but, like, I think because I'm used to a wire, I'm very pro wire. It's like, even if I'm using my Quest with my PC, I use a link cable.
Yeah, I'm wired now. The same as you. Yeah.
I find, like, I know the decompression isn't that bad, but I want, like, fully everything. Like, the wire means there's no decompression at all. And but that's just me personally. But I think if I got into it and the wireless one was there straight away, I probably would go wireless and have an issue with a wire. But I think, because I've had this 6 years with a wire, even when using, apart from if I'm using it obviously standalone without the PC, I don't think it's like, I think that's why it's never really been an issue with me. But I fully understand people's issues with the wire, like, and why it could put people off. I'm not someone who's going to say, well, you're wrong. Like, that's their opinion. Like, my opinion is use a wire. People will probably slate me for being, oh yeah, you use a wire. But I would never have a go at anyone who said that. Like, you see some of the arguments break out, and you're just like, it's just that person doesn't want a wire. Just let them not have it. That's what they like about the hardware they've got, and that's what they want in every piece of hardware. You can't say they're wrong. Like, it's just
it's all preference. It's all personal preference. Yeah. Absolutely.
So with PlayStation VR 2, is there any games you'd like to see get a sequel? It's like PlayStation VR 1 game.
We could do a 1, 2, 3 and say the game we'd like to see again, a sequel. I reckon we'd say the same one, potentially. Ooh. So if we go 1, 2, 3 and say it. Yeah?
This will be interesting, yeah.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Static.
Rush of Blood.
Oh, we were close. I'd like to see Rush of Blood get one, because it was I loved it, but I'd love to see Static.
I love Static. I love Static as well. Yeah, the hands binding thing, that was fucking amazing.
Because I think now, obviously, this is your one I said a lot of people said they wouldn't play because it was a control, and I was like, well, the box is on your hand. Every button on that controller is doing something on that box. Your hands are stuck together, like in a position, like if you were holding a controller. So I didn't see the problem, but I'd just love to see what they could do if the puzzles were on separate hands.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. It had a very Valve feel to that game, didn't it? It reminded me of like a Portal Half-Life-y thing. It was
Yeah.
very sterile and quirky, and
Yeah.
I
I was
loved
like,
it.
it
That
was
game
like
was
Portal Stanley Parable sort of humor, like the Stanley Parable
yeah.
sort of humor, and I just thought it's just mad.
It is just mad, yeah. But yeah, Rush of Blood, I'd love to see that remade. It's the best. I think it's one of the best roller coaster games combined with one of the best horror shoot 'em ups.
Yeah.
In VR still. Like, I love it. I still love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I remember the first time I put that on was obviously on day of release. It was the only game I got outside of demo disc, and even just as they're bringing up the Supermassive Games logo and you're going down the thing the corridor slowly, even then I had dread feeling inside of me, and I was just like, I'm not even in the game yet. This is just telling me you made it.
Yeah, I know, like that. And you have one of the monsters, don't you? Like fling out.
Yeah.
Oh, that used to made me jump every time. I knew what was happening, but every time it made me go, oh, yeah.
One of my
So good.
funniest live stream moments came with a jump scare in Rush of Blood. Like in the early days, it's when you go towards the end of like, I think it's like a house in front of you and the pigeons, crows fly across. And then you hear a laugh and you turn that way and it's like she pops up and screams. I jumped. I was just playing it with the controller because I didn't have move controls when I first got it. So I was just playing with the controller, and I jumped that much. My finger slipped off and pressed the home button.
Oh,
So
no.
the screen on the stream just went blue because obviously they didn't show what was on there. Did it? It got the blue thing. But yeah, and then I just took it off mute. I was like, "You fucking bastard!" on that thing, and it was like a perfectly cut scream because it was like and then just came up a blue screen.
Oh man, like you died, like you'd actually died playing the game. That's quality, dude.
But yeah, like you said, if you leave it for a bit, as well, my brother-in-law got PlayStation VR, and I told him to get Rush of Blood, and he messaged me and he said I got through the first one, and then he never went back. When they're walking, and they're singing the songs, and the two sisters, like they're singing songs from either side around you, then you turn and one of them's there. He was just like, he said he turned it off at that point and never put it back on. He said I can't do that. I was like, oh.
Do you remember the Resident Evil 7 demo with the
hands, yeah.
I can't remember what the hell that's called. I always forget the name of it, but
the kitchen.
That's it, the kitchen. And as you said, like static again, it made sense to use a controller. Like that was her only still VR experience.
Yeah.
He told me she loved horror films and she'd be fine. It terrified the shit out of her, and she's never used them since. So that was bad. That was very bad of me. They're very irresponsible. I should have known better than to let her do that. But
see, I actually put my 13-year-old nephew in that because he was saying nothing could scare him. Because I was telling him how bad VR was, like how scary it was. It was a kitchen demo I was telling him, and he was like, "Goes out my parents at times." No, it's not. And then my sister come round with him later in the week, and I was like, "Do you want to go and play the kitchen demo?" He's like, "Yeah." And I put it on, and as soon as she you see a scurry across the floor at the back to go behind the cupboard, he was just like, took it off. He's like, "No, I'm not playing that." I was like, "See,
hey.
you're not scared of anything, eh?"
Great success.
Responsible uncle. You won't be scared of it. I'm going to put you in it and scare you.
That's it.
You just realise you can hold you. But
my medallion, yeah. It was like flicking in my face. I was wondering what the hell was going on with it.
But yeah, it's like good responsible uncle. You're going in this game and I'm going to scare you.
Yeah, good. Teach me a lesson.
So yeah, I would love to see Rush of Blood get one sequel, or even just that one, which will go on to a good topic next for PlayStation VR. See a remake of it.
Yeah.
This is the backwards compatible thing. I understand why. They're gonna have the controls are completely different, so it's a lot of work to put the new control scheme in. But I think the thing for me, I don't want to see remasters. I want to see upgrades, paid for upgrades, pay for the time that need to do the controllers. I just don't want to see a remaster thing start we're like, oh, we're just going to release the same game at a new price with looks a bit better. I think when I mentioned it on the last episode, I said if you look, for example, Last of Us, yes, they give it a good lick of paint and made it look good, but then release it at 70 quid was a bit of a piss take to me. I was like,
I love Last of Us, but there was no way I'm paying £70 for it. No chance.
And I don't want
I
to see
pay
this.
25. You know.
I don't want to see this become a thing on VR. I know there wouldn't be those prices because a lot of the VR games are from smaller companies, but I don't want to see them re-release a game at full price. So
yeah,
I'd rather see them do like an upgrade. You might pay £10 for the upgrade if you own the game, and then you can get the new controllers a bit. It looks a bit better. I'd happily do that, but I think I just don't want to see a remaster thing start.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man, because obviously they said there wasn't going to be any PSVR games on PSVR 2, but as we then learned that possibly that won't be the case, and they'll be actually like almost re-engineered, or forward compatible. You know,
they are good with this because that's a good point, because with the PlayStation 5 come out, they're like PlayStation VR games will work, but there'll be nothing done with them, and then they're all getting touches of paint like. I was gonna say London Heist Rush. Oh my god, what was the one after London Heist?
What do you mean?
Blood and Truth, like got a texture,
Blood and Truth,
got like a texture PS5 upgrade, like texture upgrade and stuff. But at the time when they've announced the PlayStation 5, like, your PlayStation VR games will work, but they'll be like PlayStation 4 level games, and then some of them, No Man's Sky got it. They started to get upgrades. Like to texture upgrades and stuff. Which I liked about that. Is there any games, if they did decide to do the remaster, is there any games you'd think, you know what, I'd buy that again? If it obviously priced right, not 70 quid.
Because some of them I've got on PCVR now, so I don't know if I'd need them on.
Yeah.
I'd probably do Resident Evil 7 again.
Yeah.
Even though I've got it on PCVR and that is a fantastic mod, I love the PS5 haptics, you know, and the is it DualSense controllers and the adaptive triggers. I love all that stuff. So them on that controllers in VR with headset haptics, I would re-explore Resident Evil 7 all over again.
Yeah.
What about you?
Wasn't really a popular game, but it's a game that made me, like, my jaw hit the floor first time, and I'd love to see Crytek do Robinson the Journey again.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. That was a launch title, I believe.
Stepping out that pod for the first time in VR and just seeing that world around me and the pterodactyls in the background, I was like, what the hell? What's this?
Really?
Yeah, I was like, whoa. So I'd love to see that get a lick of paint and look how we could now.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Even if they just made that scene again where you first step out and just did it as like a demo, I'd be like, I'll have that. I just want to walk out that pod again for the first time.
Is that game not on PCVR then? Is it
only
for PSVR? Oh, it is. Okay.
I bought it on PCVR in one of the Steam sales, probably last year, and obviously with the age of it, they just haven't updated it. So I try to use the index controllers, and the hands are back to on the wrong side. The only way to get it to work is using Vive ones, which although I did use them at first, I never want to touch them again.
No, dude. I remember using them at Gamescom in 2019. I was like, how the hell did VR survive?
Yeah.
Using those things. What the hell? Like two massive TV controllers. Like, make no sense to me at all.
I mean, I've still got my Vive ones because if my index controllers break. I mean, I would normally then just go to Quest. But if I wanted to be in here and wanted all the facial tracking and stuff, I'd have to just use Vive ones.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've been lucky with my index controller. I got them on day release, and I've only had each controller replaced once. So I'm actually doing well.
Valve.
But it's not the story for everyone. I know Skeever's had about 5 pairs.
I know, dude. He was the one who put me off for getting one.
Yeah. And Bol, who was on the episode before, I play a lot with, he's had 2 cables replaced for his headset. He's had again about 5 sets of controllers, and it's like it's
Crazy.
just like they are a problem. I just like the tracking. Means I can stick my middle finger at people.
That's it. We want to flip someone off. I can't do that in here.
So before we end it, do you want to? I always like to ask people because I do like to give indie games a push out there. Is there any indie games you like turn around and say to people who getting into VR or maybe been in VR maybe not heard of it or played it? Is there any that you would recommend people?
If you're into horror, I would say Crawl Space.
I've never heard that one.
Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. That is a scary game, but only if you've got a fear of dolls.
Fear of dolls.
That's it. Yeah, if you've got a fear of dolls, that game is terrifying. What else? Indie wise, terrible because I actually should have an answer for this. Ideally, I should have an answer for this. It's hard to say indie because I mean, indie means so many different things at the moment.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
in VR, you know, like if you compared even some of our big studios compared to
they're still indie, yeah.
They're still indie. So, I mean, I don't think End Dreams are indie too much. I mean, they've got really big, but if there's anyone's not, I'm going to say this because maybe people missed it because it's old now. Phantom Covert Ops. I thought was a absolutely fantastic game. You know, that was above it, like beyond its, like a lot of games from 2018, they were ahead of their time, and they kind of. I think you could release Phantom Covert Ops again on Quest 2 in some way, and it would do well again because it's such a great game, such a great game.
And you're at EGX. Was there any games that stood out at EGX? Because, like I said, I didn't go to EGX because I thought the VR, and then just 2 weeks leading up to it, it just came.
Oh,
we're here, and it's like I was like, what? No, I didn't have the money to go.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a game that recently was announced. The one on stage we did was Ghost Signal. I say we because I'm still an ambassador for Fast Travel. Ghost Signal for me is Fast Travel's next upcoming game, and it's a sci-fi roguelite set in the Stellaris universe. Now, I didn't know anything about Stellaris. Never heard of it before. Have you ever heard of it before?
No.
But if you check it on Steam, it's massive. A massive game, right? Loads of people playing it, thousands, millions, maybe. I don't know. This is like not a click and point. It's a lot of management, and it's really strictly roguelite in that and it reminds me of Star Fox. You go through like a star map. You go 2 star maps, boss, and then you go to another like part of the universe kind of thing, or solar system. Do that again, another boss, blah blah blah. And every time you do it, you gain XP and you increase your ship and the abilities. And I found that game mesmerizing because there's like space creatures. One of them, it kind of reminded me of R-Type. One of them spawns an egg. You have a choice. You're like, oh, do you want to power up your ship using the dragon something, or do you want the dragon's egg? And I was like, oh, I'll have a dragon's egg. And you get a little baby dragon that fights alongside you and stuff. It was so cool. Like, I really loved it. And I said to the guys, I'm like, listen, I hope you double down on the space monster stuff. I think that's really quite cool. Yeah. Apart from that, we have Everslort Invasion, which I'm sure you've played Everslort, PCVR. Jihad and those guys are trying to make a Doom-style, fast-paced, first-person action game. But this time it's co-op. So, yeah, really look forward to that. Broken Edge, absolutely love that. That game is really in-depth. It features 5 martial art styles, which you kind of do in the game to do different moves, and you have to ignite your sword by doing like these motions. And once your blade's ignited, then the idea is to strike the other person's weapon, not the person. Yeah. Plus, you've got 5 special moves of each character, which is really cool. Like, but if you saw it, you'd think it was a sword waggler, but it's so not. It's so far away from that. It's unreal. What else do we have? VR1. Have you played VR1? That's an indie game. That's definitely an indie
played
game.
That on the. I think it was that on one of the next fests on Steam. Is that the one where you get like leafy controllers?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a multiplayer you play on your own. Like you
Yeah.
do something and then you throw your future self a gun, and then he appears and he might need ammo from over there, and there might be different puzzles and stuff. That's very cool.
It made me think of
Then, like,
transpose, but with weapons. Like transpose, where you have to just throw
yes.
like little blocks to each other to put into set things.
Yes, see,
Yeah.
that was really good. That was a secret location, wasn't it? You made that one.
Yeah.
Did you try Transformers that they made?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Leave it there.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Yeah, that was an experience. And then what was the last one they did? And then Guardians, which I'm sure you've played.
Yeah. Guardians is
Yeah,
fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, and it's only getting better. Like I did some play testing, chucked some ideas out. Again, like that guy was coding at the show. So people were saying to him, like, I'm struggling with this bit of the tutorials. This is his first time he's had live feedback.
Yeah.
He's not had outsiders come along and go, like, I've not played VR, or I've played a little bit of VR, but can I play your game? And they said things, and he was actually then leaving, going to get a coffee, coding the game, coming back with a whole new build.
Jeez.
It was unreal.
That's
I've never
mad,
seen
isn't it?
anything like it. It was, yeah. Every day, I think the game changed. He's so dedicated and so hard working for it. It was unreal, unreal to see that. So there's my indie stuff. Sorry about that. Took ages.
No problem. But again, more indie stuff. So we'll end it there. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about PlayStation VR mainly and things like this.
Yeah, man. And I love this set. I can't, like, that guy behind you. I constantly, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at him, thinking, is he moving? And then I see him on the screen, and this is great. It's so good, mate. It's so good.
So of course, it normally doesn't look like this. This is obviously a Halloween set, but it's normally doesn't have all these creepy men about and things like that. But yeah. So once again, there'll be links down in the description to where to go and check out GT's stuff. And again, I just want to say thank you for everyone who supported over this first year. This, you'll probably know this, I'm going to put a video out and this will be on the channel. The VRverse has now got its own channel where I'm going to post these on, try and keep it separate to the reviews and things I do. So it'll be on there. This will be the first episode going live on there. I decided to do that now. It's a year old. But I will link it out on my main channel and also send out tweets to try and get people to come over and make sure they know about the VRverse channel once it's out. You can join me next month. We actually mentioned of End Dreams. We've actually got Jimmy from End Dreams coming on next month to talk about the stuff going on at End Dreams and things like that. So looking forward to that one. But what I'd like to do just one more time is just say thank you to GT and well done on all of your success in building your channel, the stuff you're doing in VR. It's really helping it all grow. It's put a lot of hard work in, so make sure to definitely, if you don't already, go over and check him out. And I will see you all next month.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.